here on the Action News Hour as we go down to Lafayette now via the phone. And welcome to our program, Chubby Carrier. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today, and I appreciate you taking time to do this.
Thanks for having me. That's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much.
Well, tell us, first of all, why you personally wanted to be involved and why you are so involved with the Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living.
Well, one thing personally, I lost my daddy at a young age, 63 years old, due to lung cancer from cigarette smoke. And it just, we had more plans than, record records, do more things as far as, go out there and play music together. And just to let myself know, and on that note, just to say that he died of cigarette smoke, you know. And as a young kid, I've been in bars for a long time, and I mean, I've put my life on the line as far as, being in the clubs, especially growing up in the 70s. Everybody smoked back then. And it's just a time to come to, to an end. It's time to just put this away and just say, look, you want your musicians around, you want us to perform, we want our health as well. So if that's the case, then, just put it away and let's just try to just make some good music and quit thinking about the worst things that can happen in life,
Right. When you look back at the case of your father, was it directly from his own smoking, or was it in situations more with the secondhand smoking?
Oh, yeah, his own smoking. But the thing about it, he was always around, people that wasn't smoking, And I would tell it to Dad, I said, Dad, you know what, you're smoking one after the other, and you're just damaging the next person next to you. And he said, oh, I've been smoking since I was 13 years old, son. I just don't think I can quit. And I was like, I know you can quit. There's no way you can't quit. But, he's endangering not just me, the next person, the barmaid, the bartenders, everybody that's in that bar, And, boy, when I heard that they had a campaign going on for tobacco-free living, I was all over it.
And as a musician, even if you think about Louisiana music and some of the establishments, like in a place like New Orleans on Bourbon Street, you kind of have that image of, the smoke-filled room and, kind of see the girl across the smoke-filled room and the musicians are playing. You hear the saxophone or the Zydeco-type music. So it's really kind of that whole ambiance, but it seems like people are getting to the point where they don't want that to be part of that ambiance anymore.
They don't. I'm hearing it more and more and more. A lot of my friends that want to come out goes, oh, no, man, you're not going to get me in that smoky bar. I didn't want to smell like ashtray in the morning.
Right.
I'm getting a lot of those, my friends that's not coming to see me at a bar. They said, Chubby, the only time I'll come see you if it's an outdoor event where I can breathe freely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more people have become aware of this campaign and are kind of jumping on board with it. What's your thought, though, Chubby, when you hear some of these establishment owners that don't want to see this ordinance passed in their municipality area because they feel like it's going to hurt their business in the long run?
I've been talking to bar owners about that, and a lot of them, I hate to say this, but a lot of them was afraid, that they was against me coming in there just speaking about it. It says, oh, no. I've been hearing about y'all campaign. I see you on billboards. But, Chubb, I love you, man, but I can't do that. 95% of my customers smoke. That's where I get my business. And I was like, wait a minute. Whether people come in here smoking, whether you're worried about somebody's life, that's their livelihood, I mean, this girl was actually at a bar. She's telling me, she said, I'm in here because I need a third job to get through. I'm a single mom. But I have to be here. It's not I want to be here. I have to be here.
Right.
And I'm like, listen to what your barmaids are saying. Don't you care? And some of them just put their heads up and just walk away from it. Wash their hands away from it. Say, no, man, this is a place of business. And as long as I know we can smoke, we're going to continue smoking in here. And I was kind of sad and hurt and heartbroken from what he was saying,
Yeah, absolutely. What about for you as a musician when you're playing in those conditions? Do you notice a difference? Say, you're talking about the outdoor venue versus the indoor. I mean, can you even notice a difference in terms of the effect it might have on your voice while you're singing and playing?
Oh, yeah. That just happened. I just called my wife. We was in Oklahoma, and this bar here out in the country, man, I'm thinking it's not a non-smoking bar, but I walked in, and everybody in there was smoking. So I went to the owner, and I said, man, I would totally love it if you guys can make this a non-smoking event tonight. And he goes, are you kidding me? He said, this is a smoking bar, man. And the state of Oklahoma, I don't know about Louisiana, but in the state of Oklahoma, we're allowed to smoke. I played that show that night, and God forbid, I couldn't wait till the next morning to call my wife and tell her that my eyes were burning again, my throat was raspy, my clothes stunk high heavenly, and my hair smelled like ashtray. And I couldn't even express enough of it because I hadn't played that environment in so long. And when I got to play that show that night, I felt horrible the next day. I really did. I just told my wife, yuck. I just feel yucky right now. And that's just one show. And I was like, how in the world did I do this in the 70s and 80s and 90s? You know? But just that one show made me question myself. Yeah. I'm going, oh, my God. And you know what? 30 minutes of, inhaling that stuff is not healthy. Mm-hmm. And I was in there for 4 hours.
Wow.
So, yes, I was concerned about my life. I was concerned about my health, But I marked my word. I told the guy the next time he asks me to perform in his club, it's going to have to be a non-smoking event or I won't perform.
And we continue our conversation. If you're just joining us, this last segment we were talking with Chubby about why he's involved with this particular effort. Lost his father to lung cancer a few years ago, and himself being a musician knows firsthand some of the issues that are pertaining to this whole subject. But one of the main reasons why we have Chubby on with us today, Jennifer, is, as we talked with you earlier, is he's going to be in town tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So you got a busy day. And Chubby, what are your thoughts of all the activities she's got for you coming up tomorrow?
Man, that is a busy schedule. I said, oh, wow, I'm going to be on my P's and Q's tomorrow.
That's right. We're dragging you all over town.
When you talk with the kids tomorrow, is Arthur F. Smith is where you're going to be?
Right.
Okay. What's your message to kids? What kind of are you going to talk about the smoke aspect, or are you just talking more about the musician aspect?
I'm going to talk about both. I want them to know that just because you're a musician and you think you look cool smoking, you don't. You know?
Yeah.
I definitely want to get that message across because some guys that plays in bands, when they were coming up as teenagers, goes, man, I seen Jimi Hendrix smoking a cigarette while he's playing guitar. It looked cool. No, it's not.
Right.
So I want to be able to bring that message to them and let them know that you don't have to be cool smoking a cigarette. You're cool enough just playing that instrument in your hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. And these are middle students.
I definitely want to get the message across to them about that.
Mm-hmm. Right. This is when they start picking it up. So we're hitting that middle age, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, and that's when they usually start experimenting, start smoking. So you're hitting them at just the right time.
I know over the noon hour you're going to be over at Spirits, which is one of our best eatery establishments here in the city of Alexandria. Have you ever played Spirits before?
No, I've never been at Spirits before, man. The only thing I did in Alexandria, which is the downtown Rocks deal.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'm sure the folks, once they get to meet you over there, maybe they'll bring you up because they do some concerts there. So.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
It's so nice to meet them.
Yeah, talk to them about that. And then, Jennifer, give us the afternoon schedule again.
At 4 o'clock, we have a VIP meet and greet with musicians, artists, vocalists. Anybody wants to come out and have a special.
Where's that going to be at?
Copeland's.
That'll be at Copeland's.
That's at Copeland's, and then right after is when he's gonna.
Okay.
He's gonna play for us.
And that's about 5:30, 5:30.
Yeah, about 5:30.
Okay.
We'll finish wrapping up and get him set up.
Okay. So, and you were telling us, Chubby, you're kind of coming up by yourself tomorrow, so you may need a couple of local musicians to help you out.
Yeah, man, I want to encourage some of the local musicians to bring their instruments in because I'm coming solo, and I'd love for them to join me on stage so we can have a little grand finale.
All right. I bet we can work that out. I'll spread the word.
May have a whole huge band and orchestra show up to help you out.
Yeah, draw numbers or something.
Let's just talk a little bit about music and just that whole Louisiana sound when we talk about Zydeco music. Obviously, it's been around for a long time. And I know, I grew up in Milwaukee, and I remember we have a big event. Maybe you've even played at this. It's called Summerfest that they have every year. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Have you ever played that?
I played it about 5-6 times, man.
All right. So, and even the folks up in that part of the country really love hearing that music.
Oh, they love it. They love it. They love it, man. And I'll tell you what, they keep asking for us to get back up there, and they said, man, we need more of this kind of music. This is terrific. We know that Louisiana have great food, great culture, but the music, oh, my goodness. Bring it, bring it. So we went up there about 5-6 times. I performed at Summerfest, and they're still asking me to come today.
Yeah, those polka types, they didn't realize you could play an accordion like that.
No, they didn't know that was happening. They said, man, I never thought that you Zydeco boys can play like that.
I understand you're getting ready to go up to Canada next, too.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go to Canada. We're still doing the tours on the weekends, and we're going to go to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We're playing the Edmonton Labatt's Blues Festival. So we'll be up there for this weekend, and it's going to be 75 degrees as the high. Yippee!
I can definitely relate. And again, being in Wisconsin in the summer, usually this time of year, that's about the temperature there too. So, hey, hope you have a great time in Alexandria tomorrow. I'm sure the folks are going to roll out the red carpet for you, and it'll be a great time, especially tomorrow night at Copeland.